Moving on, a new Israeli environmental report showing that the Israeli coastlines are cleaner than they were last year, despite a massive oil spill in the Mediterranean. But while this is cause for celebration, another report from the UN is deflating that balloon. According to the recent Code Red report, climate change is getting worse and in a far shorter time span than anticipated. Here to discuss is head of the Department of Environmental Studies at Tel Aviv University, Professor Colin Price. Professor, thank you very much for joining us. What can you tell us about the UN's Code Red report findings in general?
So the UN comes out with these reports, the IPCC report, every 7 to 8 years. Now it's 8 years because it's delayed by COVID, and basically collects all the publications of the best scientists around the world. I think there were more than 2,000 papers included in this report, and hundreds of scientists working on this, and basically bringing us the state of the art of what we know about the climate today, what we know about the past climate, going back even hundreds of thousands of years, and what are the predictions for the coming future. And this report is the most severe that we've had. We've had these every 7 years from the 1990s onwards. This is the 6th report. And each report, the data gets better, the models get better, and our uncertainty gets smaller. And so we're much more certain now that the climate is changing. Things are changing faster than we expected, actually. And we also know that we're the cause. We're the problem, which are causing climate to change. And if we don't do anything drastically, it's going to keep on changing, getting warmer, more extreme weather events, rising sea level in the near future, in the next decades.
All right. Now, Israel was accused of a subpar response with respect to cooperating after the 2015 Paris Climate Accords with respect to reducing global emissions. What's happened since then?
Well, so recently we had to make adjustments to these commitments for the next big climate conference, which is going to be in Glasgow in November this year, the COP26. Unfortunately, Israel has claimed that they will reduce or move to 27% of renewable energies by 2030, when other countries have gone up to 50% renewables by that period. And by 2050, many countries are now claiming they'll go to net zero carbon emissions, which means whatever we put into the atmosphere, we can also take out through growing trees or other mechanisms. Israel claims they'll get to maybe 85% by 2050. So I think we're not as far as we should be. There's plenty more we can do in Israel. We have lots of sun in Israel, more sun than the Europeans have, and therefore we could really go much further and get to 50%, I think, renewables by 2030.
All right, so coming off of your response here about Israel needing to do a little bit more, saying that we can do those things, but we need to maybe pledge and really work towards getting there. That said, in response to this latest report, Israel's foreign ministry is saying that they believe Israel can lead the way for others with climate diplomacy. Specifically, the foreign ministry is saying, quote, Israeli experience and knowledge can help countries around the world in the fields of water tech, seawater desalination, drought-resistant agriculture and climate change, renewable energies and energy storage, development of animal protein substitutes, reforestation, and other areas that will help us face these challenges. How do you respond to that? Do you see Israel truly as this, global leader in climate change fighting?
I hope that we could lead the way. If we look at things like water technologies, drip irrigation, desalination, Israel's the leader, and we sell these technologies to the rest of the world. When we look at cybersecurity today, Israel's a leader, and therefore, as the startup nation, there's no reason that we cannot also lead the world with new technologies on renewable energies, on electric cars, new, more efficient agriculture. So I think we can be there, but obviously someone's got to invest in this. Hopefully the Israeli government will invest in it, like they've been investing in things related to, say, smart mobility. And with the startup nation mentality and ecosystem in Israel, I definitely think that this could be a win-win situation for Israel, that even though if we do everything correctly with our own environment, we're still going to have to face the consequences of climate change because this is a global phenomenon. But on the other hand, with our economy and our startup know-how, we can actually be part of the solution and sell many of those technologies to the rest of the world. And actually, it could be good for the Israeli economy.
All right. Professor Price, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing some of your insights about this growing problem.
You're welcome.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast. Temperatures mostly staying the same tonight. Tonight's lows ranging between 19 to 27 degrees Celsius, and then tomorrow, highs expecting to range from 31 to 36 degrees Celsius in most areas. Then, of course, temperatures a bit higher in Eilat at 40 degrees. And now, before we go, let's take a look at what's going viral here in Israel. Yep. I feel like this is going to go bad. I already see one pita or bread. Looks like it's stuck up there. Oh, so close. He saved it just by a minute. All right. That is it for today's news. Today's exchange rate is 3.22 shekels to the American dollar and 2.57 shekels to the Canadian dollar. And finally, for the latest updates and news from ILTV, please like ILTV on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as to our newsletter at iltv.tv. I'm Aaron Porras. Be well. Thank you so much for watching.